So this past week, as you know, Jeffrey and I went to Unity Village. Unity Worldwide Ministries ordained 75 new ministers just in Nigeria alone this week. There's an incredible amount of movement and power being put out in the world to grow the unity movement that's already 100 years in its life. But it became clear to Jeffrey and I this week that the power of intention can have a very drastic impact, both positive and negative. There were so many ministers and ministries represented from all over the world. And there was this one session where hundreds of us were present, and they were asking, the board was asking what did people want them to focus on and what were their thoughts. And the difference in what people were sharing and what they wanted for the movement and for their own ministries was so different that Jeffrey and I wondered, how could they ever achieve what they want if everyone can't get on the same page? But at the same time, we recognize, look how far they've already come with the individual intentions that are lifting that ministry up as a whole. So we could all get on the same page, which I think we've done a pretty good job at Unity of Tampa at doing that. And I think that's one of the significant reasons that this is a thriving spiritual community. But Jeffrey and I, we pray for Unity of Tampa all the time. We affirm that this place will continue to serve those who need it, and it will continue to grow. You look at where we've been for the last 3 years alone. An empty property with no plants, no youth building, no patio. And look at us. The whole campus looks different than it did 3 years ago because of our intentions. Because we set them, we held them, we birthed them. And we've proven that those thoughts matter. And I'm hoping you also pray for Unity of Tampa and affirm it's good. But I'm hoping you're also going to join us in praying for the entire worldwide ministry to find its way and not to be conflicted with the differences of opinions. They let go of the CEO a few weeks ago, and it's created quite the experience for people. Some, were for him, some were against him. Those who were against him believe they won. Those like us who were for him feel we lost something of meaning. But in the big picture of faith, we have to trust that that will all play out. And like the brave man that he was, he attended every minute of that conference. He was in my ordination, my blessing. I was very impressed to see that. But each of us also has to realize that the power of intention plays out in our own life every day. And if we don't get good at it in our own life, we actually can't help the bigger communities. So you have to believe it and use it and grow your life to where you want it to be. I want to share the law of intention and desire with you. It's something that Deepak Chopra wrote in his 7 spiritual laws of success. And it says this: an intention is a directed impulse of consciousness that contains the seed form of that which you aim to create. Like real seeds, intentions can't grow if you hold on to them. Only when you release your intentions into the fertile depths of your consciousness can they grow and flourish. And he says that everything that happens in the universe begins with intention. In fact, nothing that you do in your day happens without it. You decide to get up in the morning, you intend it, and you get up. You decide you're going to work, you decide you're going to play. Whatever it is you decide, you are setting your intentions every day into motion. Well, whether that applies to the short-term items or the big-term items, you are responsible for that. I set my intentions to complete this journey. And yes, it was a winding road, but I never lost sight of the intention. And we can do that with everything if we have the willingness to plant that seed and believe it's happening and move in that direction. You can't plant a seed and say, this is what I want, and wait back and go, I don't know why the universe didn't give it to me. You have to work toward it. You have to drive it. Dr. Ernest Holmes offers even greater insight on what Deepak said. And he said, we already live in a perfect universe, but it needs to be seen mentally before it can become part of our experience. And our thoughts are the first step. So here's a question I'm going to ask each of us to consider today and throughout this week. What is preventing our divine self from having greater influence over our daily experiences? Now, the reason I want you to think that through is because many people say, no, I feel that spirit on some things, but I don't feel it every day. But in order for us to be divine people, you living with that divine nature, we have to feel it all the time. And in order for you to find these answers, all of us have to do two things. One, peel away the layers that we've built up that keep us trapped in our ego consciousness. Our ego is our worst enemy sometimes because it's got all the answers about why we can't do things and very few answers about why we can. And second is while you're pulling back those layers, then clear out all the thoughts and memories that keep holding you back. What are the old stories that you're still playing? What are the old recordings? What are the old thoughts? I can't. I'm not good at this. I'm not good at that. I'm too old. Well, if I'm not too old, none of you are too old. I think I'm the oldest student in that school, I swear to God. Who cares? I'm probably one of the most energetic. So as far as I'm concerned, as long as I've got it, I need to keep using it. In the same way that the clouds prevent the sun from shining brightly, all the layers of our painful, negative hurts, anger, all the things that we've built up over time prevents our divine light from shining. You see, it gets cloudy, you can't see the sun. That happens in our consciousness. All that stuff that is heavy, it just gets in the way, and we can't think to plant new seeds and release them and have faith that they will grow. We need to do a better job of managing our fear and our adversity in life. because both are going to have a negative impact on our spiritual intentions. You know, Jesus preached the importance of immediately letting go of negative thoughts and fears as we received them. And Eric Butterworth supported that belief and taught that when we carry around our hurt and anger, it actually creates a poison that robs us of peace and well-being. So if you're finding it difficult to be a peaceful human being, I want to ask you what you think you could let go of that would allow you to be more joy-filled. Spiritual intention is a conscious effort to move in the direction that allows our divine self to have greater influence over our human experiences. Jesus demonstrated this in how he managed his thoughts, words, and behaviors every day. He was a way shower that we can look at and say, how did he live his life? And could we learn from that? He preached the importance of us constantly wanting to release and reveal the kingdom of heaven within. That part of us within us that allows the light to come shining through. There's an old story I love about a traveler in ancient Greece who lost his way trying to find Mount Olympus. So he stops and he asks directions from a man that he sees on the road, and the man turns out to be Socrates. And Socrates says this to him: just make every step you take go in that direction. That's how you'll get there. Make every step go in that direction. And Eric Butterworth, in response to that story, said, there's only one way under the sun by which man can achieve his Mount Olympus, and that is by bringing about radical and permanent change for the better in his own consciousness. Now, think about that idea of moving in the direction. Perhaps there's something you've wanted to do. How much effort have you made to ensure every step put you on that path? If it's once a week that you're focusing on it, chances are that won't happen at all. We have to focus on making sure nothing gets in our way. Nothing. No negative thought, no fear, no doubt. So let's simplify this for ourselves. If we want to make change in our life, two things we have to do: plant seeds of intention, release them into our consciousness, don't hold on to them, and then make sure that every step we take will lead us in that direction. Now, think about when you buy a gift for someone, okay? And you have something in mind. You set your intention. You know what I want to get so-and-so this year for their birthday? You have your intention. You start looking for it. You find it. You buy it. You give it to them. That's simple. That's how simple manifesting what you need in life is. Because you have to be paying attention. It may not look like what you think. I didn't know I'd be back at Unity of Tampa. That wasn't on my intention. But it was in the direction. I had to take a detour to make it all work. But it was in the path. And I answered the call. Things that come up every day for us, we don't answer the call. Somebody gives us an idea. Oh, no, I can't do that. I'm too old. Oh, no, I wanted to do that when I was a kid. Oh, no. No, we've had financial problems forever. Okay, well, I hope you enjoy them because they're going to continue with that story. We can set our intentions in simple ways, but it's understanding that everything that's happening in our lives, we are the ones assigning meaning to it. And if you aren't paying attention to the meaning you're assigning, then you can expect more of the same. Here's an example. If your spiritual intention was to live a joy-filled life, but at every turn you assign negativity and negative meaning to your experiences. Oh, this was a lousy day. Oh, that person never does what they're supposed to. I can never count on that person, but I really want a joy-filled life. Okay, if that is what we assign meaning to, and those are the kinds of meanings that we're living with, then we can't clear the clouds. We aren't going to clear the debris that's in the way of allowing us to experience that joy. Every step must lead to joy if you want to be happy. Not just some, every step. So the minute you catch yourself, just like I did this week, affirming how badly I felt, I found another workshop or group to go to so I could just be present and learn from other people and not allow myself to get so caught up in how bad I felt that I couldn't be present. And it helped. I think we would have come home on Monday night if we hadn't changed our attitudes. And the best part is no one really knew we were sick. Only me, because people thought I lost my voice and I didn't tell them otherwise. No need. I'd just be affirming more, right? All thoughts must be intended to nurture the seeds we plant, which requires us to monitor our thoughts daily. And we have to visualize every thought we hold being sent into the universe the minute it comes. Good, bad, or indifferent, it's going out there. So what are you putting out there? Choose wisely. Now, this is really important to this next part. Spiritual intention requires managing our relationships and surrounding ourselves with people and activities that help our divine self come out. Now, listen to what this guy says. Motivational speaker Jim Rohn shared these thoughts. 1, we are the average of the 5 people we spend the most time with. And we are greatly influenced by those relationships. So we need to choose wisely. Think of the people you spend the most time with, and are they positively influencing your life and allowing your spirit to grow? We have to rethink our willingness to stay in friendships or relationships that do not support our enlightenment. In his book, The Power of Intention, Wayne Dyer said this: there's a field invisible and formless that manages it all. The intention of this universe is manifested in zillions of ways in the physical world, and every part of you, including your soul, your thoughts, your emotions, and of course the physical body that you occupy, are a part of this intent. He explains that whatever we intend in our lives or the lives of others involves generating that same life-giving quality that makes everything come into an existence, including each of us. If you want to have more divinity in your life, and you want your divine self to have more influence, then spend more time in meditation, prayer, self-reflection, and planting seeds, and less time on social media, binge watching television, and talking to people who deplete your energy. March 3rd, 1923, Charles Fillmore said this: As students of truth, we know that there's one universal strength in you all, through you all, and above you all, and that man expresses that strength. Let us be instant in our prayer for strength. All the powers of command are related. No man liveth unto himself alone, so no faculty of mind is independent of the other faculties. We have often had our attention called to the illustration of the chain being as strong as its weakest link and no stronger. Exactly the same is true of man. If you have a weak link in the chain of your thought, your whole character will take on that weakness. So keep that in mind, that we have the power to grow our intentions and to move forward by planting and nurturing those seeds. Let's look at our lessons for today. Setting our spiritual intentions requires us to do the following. 1, to understand everything begins with intention. We must visualize it first so we can experience it. Number 2, to manage our perceptions in an ongoing manner. All perceptions must align with our intentions. Number 3, to let go of our fears as they arise. They rob us of our peace and well-being. And number 4, to maintain relationships that empower us. Positive energy helps our divine light grow. And the quote from Michael Beckwith, a spiritual intention is a resounding yes to awakening to your fullest potential. It may include several of your life structures, mental, emotional, financial, relationship, because there is no aspect of your life that is not spiritual. Pardon? Oh, thank you. I didn't write it in here. She did. She put it on. I texted to her. Can I see what it was? Thank you. I am setting my spiritual intentions. Let's say that together. I am setting my spiritual intentions. Thank you. And let's take that in for a moment. So we pause now to reflect upon the power of spiritual intention, our ability to grow, our desires, and our strength in moving toward them every day with every thought possible. And so it is. Amen.